Doesn't look like that.
How's everybody doing today?
Just wonderful.
Good. How's it going, everybody?
All right. So good to see all of you. Sorry we missed last week. I was in, as I said, I was dropping my son off at school and it got a little longer than anticipated.
Did we do it before?
Thank you for understanding. I dropped my other second son at school today, so both of my sons are now gone. So one's in 12th grade. He's in boarding school. They have to board 1 year, and the other one went to college. So, but his was earlier. He got rid of us. He got rid of us like 12 o'clock after lunch. Around lunchtime, he said, "You guys can leave now." The other one was like, "Aren't you guys going to stay for such and such?" And then we ended up doing something else with him. He had to get some things. So we got him situated. And so I wanted today start with just talking a little bit about, why am I doing this? I don't know if I really got into like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this free thing where I can just, just come in and give them my time freely. And I kind of gave a hint of it in the first email that I sent out about the course for the people who got that course. But I'm sure there's a lot of people here who never even got that email that kind of plugged into the course. What's up, brother? So the reason why I'm really doing this is because in order for me to grow, right? Well, let me go back a little bit. Let me just go back a little bit. About 2 months ago, I was sitting at a car dealer waiting for my car to get serviced. And I pulled out a piece of paper and I wrote down on the piece of paper, I just took like a quick inventory of my life. And I rated myself on a scale of 1 to 10 in 6 different areas, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, financially. And when I came to spiritually, that was the first one that I rated myself, and I gave myself a 5. And I was kind of surprised because I'm really spirituality and spiritual growth has always been something that has been like at the forefront of my existence, so to speak, And when I really saw that I give myself a 5, I'm like really like had to like it really like hit me like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like you've gotten off track, you've gotten out of balance, And so as a result of taking that inventory and seeing the 5 in spirituality and like 7s and 8s and like around 7s in health and mentally, emotionally, like I knew that I first had to like get back spiritually, and I started getting back into my meditation practice. And as a result, my older son had graduated from high school. He had a graduation party and somebody gave him the Laws of Success, really big fat book. And I started reading it. I like read a chapter in that book. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is good, but it's like really, antiquated, something that I read many, many years ago, written by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich author. But it was like really thick. And it, like I said, it was kind of like a refresher on stuff that I'd read long time ago, like, when I was in my 20s, a couple of decades ago. And this book right here was sitting in my living room for months now. And I had the intention of one day opening it back up, And after reading that chapter, I was going to like kind of commit myself to reading a chapter a day or whatever, go from chapter to chapter, like read that whole book. And then I looked at this book and I was like, this is way better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just so much more. It's just so much. And it just took me back to that meditation practice. I was already starting to get into meditation, but it took me to that meditation practice that we're doing. And a couple weeks into it, a couple of chapters in about, the chapter of goals and whatever, I think when we started getting into the beliefs, I said, I got to share this with somebody else. I can't just keep this to myself. And the thing about sharing something like this is like, I grow by sharing it. You know what I mean? Like I cannot give this to you and share this with you. And my commitment to it is going to be higher than probably anybody in the course. So as a result of my commitment being higher, I get more out of it. And so I've learned that, they said that if you want to really master something, teach it. So for me, it's about mastery. It's about getting more out of it. And so because of you, I have an opportunity to go deeper into this teaching and to hopefully share something. And if you get something out of it, like that's just cherry on top for me. But for real, like I'm here because I need a place, because also in taking that inventory and seeing where I was at in my life, I also realized it wasn't on that paper at that time, but I also realized like, it's been a while since I've given back, And that's really another important thing, like the law of giving, you know what I mean? In order to reap, you got to give. In order to like receive, you got to give, you know, like giving puts the law of receiving in motion, you know? And so you got to put something good out there. And so that's kind of like the gist of how I got into it and why I'm doing this. And I'm doing it because I really need a channel and I need a source to give back. And I'm grateful to do that. You know, I'm grateful for this opportunity because somebody told me a long time ago, your service is to be close to yourself, right? Or close to God, you can say, right? And so what brings me closer to myself and closer to God is like this type of service, this type of work. You know, this has always been my passion for, I don't know how many years, like studying this kind of stuff has always been my thing about, because I always wanted to know, even in my early 20s, how can I like live the life that nobody else is living? Like, I didn't want to live mediocrity. I didn't want to live like, I wanted to find out what the best of the best were doing and what were the key components and the key principles that they were living by, because I wanted to live an extraordinary life. You know, I didn't want to just pay bills and kind of like, you know, live a normal, I never wanted to do normal. I detest normal, whatever normal is, but normalcy is mediocrity, you know? So in order for me to live an extraordinary life, I figured I had to study extraordinary people, and I had to study people who put the time in and study the principles on how to live. And I read book after book, and I was a self-help junkie for many years, and then I turned it off. You know, I stopped reading, I stopped doing all that stuff, and I think that's important too. There comes a time where you got to stop looking at what everybody else is saying and really look at yourself and look at your experience and look at what's working for you, because life is an experiment. And you really got to say, you know, because some people, like, they just constantly regurgitating other people's stuff. And those people, when you run into them, like, okay, they read a lot, they take a lot, but they're just constantly, they don't have no real substance. They have no real experience because it doesn't come from their own experience yet, you know? And so when I come back to this, like, I got a lot of experience with this. I was teaching it 16 years ago. So it's nothing new to me, you know, but going back to it, I get to see it, you know, I get to see it with fresh eyes. I get to see it from a whole different place. So, that's kind of the why I'm doing this. And, you know, so again, I appreciate you being here. You give me an opportunity for me to share and for me to grow. Without you, none of this is possible. So thank you for coming. Thanks for you for showing up. And it's been a really great group. So today, I'm kind of jumping, right? Because I was going to kind of tediously go through the book chapter by chapter, but I'm a spontaneous kind of guy. I can't, like, I'm hard with when it comes to schedules and like following something. But what I'm sharing with you, if anybody's seen the email I already sent out a little earlier today, what I'm sharing with you is the same thing I shared with Jerome when Jerome came to my house like 2-3 years ago. And I said, Jerome, if you just do this one thing, like, your life will change. And he did it. And he's still doing it to this day. He's sticking with this practice. And the practice originates from this little book here called the Abundance Book. It's called the 40-Day Abundance Program in this Abundance Book. And I just sent it to you. And in the 40-Day Abundance Book, right, it has 10 statements of principle, right? And the 10 statements of principle, you take one principle each day and you repeat over 4 times the cycle. 40 is a magical number. You know, you look at Jesus was on the thing for 40 days and 40 nights, right? In Ayurvedic medicine, you take a medicine, they would give it to you for 40 days. If you miss a day, you got to start all over. So the same thing with this 40-day process. If you miss a day, you start for day 1 again. So I'm already on day 11 and I've been doing it. And I love to marry doing the 10 minutes of rhythm meditation and just sitting there and doing the 10 minutes of just being with the rhythm. And when that bell goes off after 10 minutes, then for the next few minutes, I start contemplating whatever that statement of principle is for the day. And I just contemplate it and I just sit with it and I let it marinate in my consciousness. And every time I come back to these principles, like I said, over 20 years ago when I read this book and I was trying to do this program, it was like Chinese to me. I mean, none of it made no sense. It was like foreign language. I had like, what is this guy saying? This makes no sense at all. And year after year, coming back to it every few years, or whenever I came back to it, whenever it would cycle back into my life, and I would stick with it for 40 days. My life changed. Something would happen. You know what I mean? Like, it would just, something would happen miraculously. And it's not just about money. This is about really growing closer to your spirit, to knowing who you are on a deeper level and understanding that it's all within you, you know? And this practice of the meditation, I'm keep on hearing like a little thing. I don't know if somebody's muted, unmuted. I hear like hearing something, kind of like a air or something like that. Something keeps coming to sound. You see that? Hear that sound? Somebody outside, maybe in their wind. All right, I think it's gone now. Somebody must have muted themselves. So thank you for that. So what was I saying? Somebody help me.
Doing the meditation and the principles afterwards. I don't know what else.
Okay, so every time I did it, I would change. And then so coming back to these principles. So let's just take a look at some of these principles for a second. I'm going to do the screen share.
It seems like you were going on a topic of where you continuously for 40 days was doing a certain action, and now you come back to this book and you're combining.
Right.
And now this time that you're going through this book again, you're so much more knowledgeable and understanding it overall and using it, because consistency is a wonderful power to have. So.
Right. I appreciate that. So like we look at these principles, like the principle for day one is God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. It's a very deep statement. When it says individualized, you're like, when you were created, like it says in the Bible, you were created in the image and likeness of God. That's the reality of you. Not just what you think you are, not your physical self, but the reality of you, that spirit self that you are, the image and likeness of the divine. That's what it's talking about when it's talking about the reality of you. And that reality of you, that this all providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized. You're an individuation of the divine. And that individuation is abundance. It is prosperity. It's already the very truth of who you are. The thing is awakening up to it, you know, is realization of it. And so I'm just going to jump ahead to the next one for a second and just draw. So the other day I was on number 9. When I am aware of the God self within as my total fulfillment, I am totally fulfilled. I am now aware of this truth. I have found the secret of life. And I relax in the knowledge that the activity of divine abundance is eternally operating in my life. I have simply to be aware of the flow. Remember that word flow? The radiation, remember radiation, pulsation of that creative energy, which is continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from my divine consciousness. I am now aware, I am now in the flow. And so when I sit there in that meditation, right, I feel this pulsation. I feel this radiation of this creative energy that's continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from the divine consciousness within. And I'm aware of it. I'm in the flow of it. And, you know, it's really difficult to articulate this in words, but like the realization of this stuff, when you combine it with the rhythm and that experience of feeling that rhythm, feeling that flow, and then combining it with the mental energy of contemplating these words have so much power in them. It's like dynamite. It takes you to the next level when you combine the two. Now, the process and the preparation stages of where we're at in this book, right? We're getting into the meditation practice, then we're developing a yes and no, then we're looking at the beliefs. What are the beliefs? You're asking, what are the beliefs? We're weeding the garden right here. What are the beliefs that are interfering with my prosperity or me making money? You know, so these beliefs are very powerful. They're creative forces in our life. And so as we uncover these beliefs and we get to see them, with that, we can then ask, what is the truth? What is reality? Because these beliefs are most oftenly the ones that are interfering with our prosperity are not true beliefs. They're beliefs based on lack and limitation, shortage, you know. They're not based in the reality of you and really, you know, divine supply and what's real, what's true on a spiritual level, on a metaphysical level, beyond the physical level, right? Everything we see is based upon what we see with our eyes, what we touch with our ears, right? And so what's that? The whole scripture says faith is that the substance of things unseen, the evidence of things not seen, the substance of things wished for, I'm sorry. So it's going beyond what you see with your physical eye and opening up the spiritual eye to see the truth of who you really are and to feel this divine abundant energy that's continuously flowing through you. It doesn't stop. That flow is forever, you know, and it's just being aware of it is your responsibility. Now, if I go to number 8, my consciousness of the spirit within as my unlimited source is the divine power to restore the years the locusts have eaten, to make all things new, to lift me up to the high road of abundant prosperity. This awareness, understanding of knowledge of spirit appears in every visible form and experience I could possibly desire. That's not the one I wanted to share with you. It was number 7, but still, they're all good. Okay, the one I wanted to share is divine, number 7. The divine consciousness I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I'm totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Like that divine is already expressing his abundance. That's what it does. It's already happening. It's happening all the time, today, yesterday, and forevermore. It'll always be. My only awareness, my only responsibility is to awaken, to be aware. So as I'm aware of this rhythm, right, this vibration, this pulsation that's conscious, that's continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from the divine consciousness, right? Like, again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to jump around on these because they all hit you on different levels, right? I'm conscious. Number 3, I'm conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I'm conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. 4, through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature. Now, this is key. I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. What you're feeling, what you're experiencing with this rhythm, you're feeling the substance of spirit flowing through you. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. And it's drawing you closer to this awareness of the presence of God within you, that this source within you is your supply. And as you're aware of it, you're feeling the source and substance. The substance is this energy that's flowing through you, right? So going back to number 1, God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe, all providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me. And then 2, I lift my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. So we're getting in touch with the source and we're getting in touch with substance, right? And the substance is this energy. It's the substance of all things. It's everything that you see manifest is the form of this substance. And if you go down, let's go over here. Yeah, 8 that we did before. Again, my consciousness of spirit within as my unlimited source is the divine power to restore the years the locusts have eaten, to make all things new, to lift me up to the high road of abundant prosperity. This awareness, understanding of spirit appears as every visible form and experience that I could possibly desire. And that's what I started experiencing as I started doing this. Like, you know, things just start showing up beyond. It says, before you've asked, I've already answered. You know, like God knows that which you have need of, right? And sometimes we're focused so much on our wants, we don't know about our needs. And our needs just start showing up when we're in tune with this vibration. We're resonating with the divine presence. We're growing ourselves closer to the source. This is what they're talking about when he who comes upon this bread will never hunger again. You'll never hunger or thirst anymore. This is the source and substance. This is that Christ within. And even the word Christ is used here, Christ consciousness. Right here, number 4, through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within. Now, you can pick and choose the words that resonate with you. Some people, you know, that might throw them off, whatever. You know, it's all one. You know, the Atma, what the Hindus talk about, the Christ, the God self, the divine, the God within you, the Buddhahood. It's the divine within you. People have different, you know, colorings of it, different cultures of it, different languages of it, you know. But in the essence, it's all one truth. There is no distinction. There is no division. You know, there's only unity. So through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature. Now check that out. As you're doing that meditation for 10 minutes, automatically you recognize that you're feeling, you're drawing into your mind and your emotions are being filled with this substance, the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Not only is this substance your supply, right? This substance is the healing energy, right? This is the everything. This substance is way more than just, your supply, than the essence of supply. It's everything, And this is Jerome's favorite, right? Because every time he gets on here, once in a while, he shares this with me. Because I think when he read this for the first time, it probably was like, wow, to him, and I'll let him share what it is for him. I shouldn't put words in his mouth. But number 5, money is not my supply. No person, place, or condition is my supply. It's my awareness, my understanding and knowledge of the all-providing activity of divine mind within me is my supply. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. Therefore, my supply is unlimited. They're very powerful statements. So you take one statement a day, and after you do the 10 minutes of the rhythm, you're in this deep state. Now you're meditating twice a day. So you're also, you also have the ability to do the exercises that you're doing in chapters, the chapter on your belief systems. Then you go, the next chapter is about mass consciousness or race consciousness. What are the beliefs that I've inherited from society that are limiting my prosperity? You're getting in touch with those beliefs, right? You're asking for them. You're asking, is this true? Is this false? What's the true symbol? And then you're creating a ritual or ceremony to enforce that you're ready to let go of the false belief and you're ready to embody, or activate that truth, that true belief, the true belief system based upon the abundance. Now, there's 2 ways, right, to heal our minds in regards to lack and limitation, right? One is to do the weeding process, right? And to pull out the weeds, to pull out the false beliefs, the limiting beliefs, right? And replace them with the truth. And that's very important. The other way, right, is to just focus on the truth and let the truth be the power that does the weeding for you. So I encourage you to do both, do the weeding process, look at the beliefs, and find out what's the truth and just become aware of it. Just by the awareness itself, it becomes it's a healing agent, a healing process. But then if you just one meditation a day, at least, where you can just do the rhythm for 10 minutes and then focus on one of these statements of truth, whatever that statement is for whatever day you're on, right? So if you're on day 10, you'd be doing number 10, right? And then day 11, what do? You go right back to 1 again. That's day 11, day 12, and you just keep going through 4 cycles of going through the 40-day, the 10 principles of just 10 statements of principle or principles of truth, whatever you want to call them. All right. Wow, I really went off today, didn't I? Huh? So let me turn off the screen share. Stop share. So any questions, or even if you want to go back and share some experiences you've been having with the meditation process, how's abundance showing up for you in your life? By now, if you're doing the rhythm, you should start noticing, and it's not about the effects always. The effects is what's happening in your life, the circumstances, the conditions. That's the effect. It's about us knowing the cause. It's going to cause. What we're doing with this work is going to cause. We're going to the source. The source is the cause. Everything on the external of your life is the effect. The effect is temporary, and the effect can always be changed because the effect was created by whatever is going on up here anyway. If you change what's over here, the effect's going to change. And when you bring your consciousness to the source gets to be that power that works. It's the Father within that does the work, right? It's the power within you that does the work. You just becoming aware of this power. It's working regardless of whether you allow it to work for you or not. It might be working against you. It might be working for you. It depends on how you position yourself with it. But the power is always there. It's always working, right? Your beliefs are always there. They're always working. But it's like, can I come to the well and let the well cleanse me of these beliefs that are limiting me and open me up to a way of a flow and abundance and prosperity and wholeness, right? All right. I'm sorry. I went off again. Thank you. Let me hear from you guys. What's going on?
Yeah, I'll hop in. So yeah, the meditation practices have been very powerful. The rituals have been very powerful. Um, I like to delve in new moon and full moon rituals as it is. So this was like, give me an excuse to burn something and put an intention out there and release. Like I'm all in. And with that, there's been a transition that's been happening where I've had my own business for a couple of years, but I've been falling out of love with it, right? And I need to figure out something else to do, and something just kind of like fell in my lap. Pretty nice sales job and pretty decent at sales. I would have loved to kept doing entrepreneurial things, but I'm like, right now, let me just hop in and do some sales for some companies or whatever, and just rake in money, because I just came up with like a plan during this talk here today. I just turned 39. I'm like, by the time I'm 40, totally, completely sovereign, mind, body, spirit, and in finances, which is, part of my daily meditation and affirmations. I made some really nice crypto moves over the last couple of weeks. That's been great. Finding like some low cap gems with some big gains on top. So that's been tight. And I just sold my motorcycle today. So abundance is flowing, bro. My brothers and sisters, things are good right now. So really, really happy to be here. Thank you, brother Pankaj, for putting this group together. It's been a beautiful thing, and I'm looking forward to the 40-day abundance program as well. So yeah, thanks for opening up the space. Definitely had some things to share. Much love, much gratitude, much appreciation.
Thank you, Leo. The market is pumping.
That's right.
Tomorrow it'll be dumping. It's just the rhythm of life. Yeah, it's nice when it rides up. All right, do I need to call on people? What's going on here? Danny D, how's your meditation practice? Talk to us.
My meditation practice has been off and on, so it hasn't been consistent like it was the first week when I was locked and loaded and was flowing. So it kind of broke off. Life just happened and got distracted and everything like that. But I'm kind of like a chapter behind still. So I was still doing the weeding process, with the money, what is blocking me, what is interfering, with me making money. So I did that, and now I feel like I'm complete with that. And now I'm ready to move into the, cleaning out the mass cleansing and stuff like that as well too. A lot of that stuff because I feel like I'm like a magnet, like a lot of stuff just sticks to me, from the society and stuff like that. And I kind of hold on to it and don't even know I'm holding on to it. So I read that last night, but now I'm ready to put that into practice.
Okay. And all three of these chapters are up into chapter 6. So 3, 4, 5, they're all weeding chapters. All the way up into chapter 6. So these chapters you can just do them at your own pace. You got to spend some time until you feel complete with each one, and then go on to the next exercise. So first you're starting with your own beliefs. The next one is the mass consciousness, like you just said, and then the next one is like fear processing, or fear associations, he calls it. All right. And then that's a real good clearing process. And then it shifts into empowerment and then goals, goal setting. And that's pretty much, we've completed the preparation part of, the preparation part of the book. Thank you for sharing that. And, that's honest, what I mean? Sometimes it's not easy. It's just itself, the commitment to getting into that meditation practice, I'm still not doing the 2 a day. Some days I do get the 2 in, some days I only get the 1 in, but I definitely get the 1 in. I'm solid with the 1, you know what I mean? I'm solid with getting that 1. If I miss it in the morning, there's a time where I can sit and do it. Today I got my 2 in, so I'm happy about that. And I can definitely feel the difference of, and I set a reminder on my clock in the evenings, and it never works, because whenever it goes off, I'm always like, I'm just never going to be like, okay, I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and sit down and do it. Just the timing has been off for me, but yeah. Jerome, is your vibration going all over still, or are you anchoring at your heart center?
Yeah, it's still a little scary, man, to see the stuff move around like that. I guess I shouldn't be scared of it, but it's just different. Um, the stuff that I've been doing prior to this, it was really like grounding. So I always like cross the legs and sat in the same seat in the house, facing a certain direction. And when I went in, I would just sink, and my whole body would sink. It was almost like I was going through the bottom of the sofa. Um, but with this, like I feel stuff move, just in my torso though. But it just kind of moves all over the place depending on where I start. It'll start around the heart and then just kind of, and then it's just so different after doing it for, I don't remember how many months it was straight. I don't know, 20, 24 months, something like that. To have a different experience when I'm meditating was startling, to say the least.
So you've been doing this the abundance program for a long time. Ever since it was introduced to you, you didn't miss it. You've not really missed a day even, right? Just doing a statement each day.
I took 1 week off. Like I went on vacation, so I took a week off and stopped doing everything just to see what would happen.
That's good.
And I don't know, man. Like so much changed over the course of like 4 months that I was scared, like literally scared not to continue to have it because I remember how bad it was. And to put things in perspective, like at that point, like my bills were between $15,000 and $18,000 a month outside of my real estate, and so it's just like, how do you pay that? For a lot of people, it's just like, how do you take care of that type of number? And so when I got to the place where I wasn't worried about it, it was like, I don't ever want to go back to how am I going to deal with that? And so, yeah, I just locked in because I wanted something so different. And I could specifically see a change from when I started it to where I ended up. And, it didn't plateau, it didn't stop, it kept growing and growing and growing. So I was like, why would I stop if it's still working? You know?
Mm-hmm. That's magnificent. Now, I'm interested to really see what happens to you now as you marry these two together.
Yeah. And,
you're going to see, because you're already so familiar with these statements of principle. But,
yeah.
And do you also have the experience of coming across a statement, right? Whatever statement it is, and like seeing it with new eyes or seeing a new depth to it?
Yeah, it's funny because when we were talking about this on Wednesday morning, when you read it, I was like, wait, which number is that? Because you were talking about the flow, and because we've been focused on flow and being in that state over the past few weeks, it just hit different for me. And I mean, day 5 is the day that you shared it with me. So every time day 5 shows up for me, I get excited because, like, I remember when money was the only thing that mattered because I didn't have it. It was air, right? Like all my accounts were frozen. Like it was a disaster, like a cluster. And like I couldn't get access to stuff, and they're saying they're going to do this and they're going to do that to me, and all I could do was hope. And then stuff started to unravel, and I started forgiving people who I thought had done me wrong, and it got better. And I started helping more people, and I got surrounded by people who actually were willing to sow and invest in me versus just being surrounded by people who wanted to take all they could. And that allowed me to really be in my true state, right? Where I'm willing to share and give whatever I have, back to what you were talking about at the beginning of the session. Just being in a space where like I got to learn this more so that I can help more people, and being so committed to the practice that if anybody has any question about whether or not they can do it, they can look at me as an example for what can happen if you actually lock in and engage on it. I think it's really easy when things are going well to not make any changes in your life. And I think this is the part that I'm most excited about for you. Like when you're comfortable and you don't have to make a change, it's easy just to stay in that state. But when you know you're not living out your like your highest purpose, your best life, I think you're taking advantage of the gift that you're given, which is breath. And so to be able to lock in, and I mean, you're not talking about all the other stuff that you're doing outside of this, but I think you giving this gift is fueling the other changes that you're making in your world. And so for me, it's just super inspiring to see.
Thank you so much, Jerome. Thanks for being here. All right, come on, some ladies here. No, all the ladies are quiet today. All the men are talking up. I have a special guest. Ruby, you're gonna come on today and share your wisdom. There she is. Ah, my wife, Ruby.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, since the first day, one thing I did it, and till now, not a single day I missed. I did the meditation 2 times, morning and evening. So it's been 4 weeks without missing a single day. So, and I think it helped me because both the boys both the boys left. So I was thinking, it's gonna be what, but that meditation really helped me, even last night, I was like, how it's going to be this, that, but somehow I was doing the meditation, and one thing came in my mind and heart, I can say both, that love is good, attachment is good, but attachment up to that level where it doesn't become into misery, because anything to attach also can give you it's like you sometimes that detachment is way more important than attachment. So, and that this meditation helped me because love is always there, it doesn't mean, you have to hold the, and you need to let other person go to the new chapter. So I was ready to let my boys to go experience that new chapter, experience that journey, and that will make them, so for me, abundance is my family. So I don't know about the other abundance, this is the real abundance I feel, family. And I think I'm blessed with that. And by doing this, you grow in every area. I'm not saying only in family, in finance also, so I was from the beginning somehow never worry about financing because I felt I was always free in that manner, I feel like if it's in my destiny, I will get it. If it's not, I'm not going to run after that. So in that manner, I was always secure. But these chapter and meditation really helped me. Chapter, I can't say much because I'm not reading, so I won't lie. I'm reading something else my son gave me. Son gave me the David Goggins book. So I'm enjoying that one. But meditation, yes, I can say that not a single day I missed, and I'm very happy because it helped me to go smoothly in my journey and accept the new journey, new change smoothly rather than fighting with it, because mothers can be emotional, and they can be very attached. But no, sometimes I think it's good let the other person learn how to they can fly, and they can make everything right. So you this give you faith. So I think that helped me in these things, so I'm grateful to my husband. He's a great teacher. Finally I did it, otherwise I don't know. I have done, but so happy my husband is here, my brother AJ is here, me is here, and all of you are friends. So I just want to say thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ruby.
Mm.
All right. Anybody else? What's going on with your meditation? What's going on? What are you experiencing? Also, are anybody noticing any changes with like just your health in general, like a feeling of well-being or anything like that as a result of the practice? Or just feeling like happy for no damn reason, just kind of feeling good, feeling happy just to be, without any like rhyme or reason, like just feeling good, just to be feeling good as a result of doing this. Anybody? I see a lot of heads kind of nodding, shaking, maybe.
I'll share.
Yeah.
So I live on a lane in Newtown Square. We have 5 houses and we live on a creek. So, we're all bonded by the out of doors, nature and this and that. And I live a little higher than everybody else. I'm like, kind of off the beaten track. I'm a little older than everybody else for the most part. So I've been doing my own thing, not really connecting, kind of just, staying tight. But I've been noticing lately that since this meditation and this work and breaking down some defenses and, just sort of softening a layer of myself, that I'm actually making myself more vulnerable to people. And I'm participating, I'm going down, I'm hanging out. And, I really think that these times are all about communicating and listening and sharing what we're knowing and, kind of coming up with like an awakening moment amongst each other, So it's been a great, great shift for me that to actually speak my truth, which is awesome, and listen to other people's truths and realize that they're a little closer than I thought. Like part of me thought that, we'll never see eye to eye on this, but wow, we're really finding some common ground, which is really cool. And the creek really went over its bounds last night and it took away my whole entire bridge. And so it's been a day of working together and I'm just grateful for all that. And yeah, I don't know, things seem to work better now. Like things are smoother, things are, I don't know. A stupid example today, it's my mom's birthday on Saturday and I have to quickly rush and get some presents together. So I went to the mall, which I never do. I used to hate the mall. I was so loving the mall today, and all the stores I needed were right like in the same quadrant, so I got this and this and this and this, and everything went perfectly and smoothly, and I'm so happy about it. And I walked out of the mall and these 4 young boys that were just being goofy with each other, like 13 years old. One of them looked at me, he goes, "Wow, I love your hair." I'm like, what? So it's just like feeling the love is all I can say. Just so happy and so grateful to be here. And thank you very much for letting me share.
Sure. I call it the love vibration. I don't need, this is that love vibration. You just feeling this love force energy just flow through your center of your being. So that's cool. All right, one more person before I share my thing. Actually, I'm going to say, Bob Marley had a line, "In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty," right? So here we go. Let me share this. So I had the abundance of water yesterday too, with your creek. I don't have a creek near my house, but I guess everybody can see this. I had a little creek in my house though. Everything was flooded. So last night I was up to like 4 a.m. working. Had water everywhere. And at this point of this video, I was just kind of taking a video for whatever, for like, I don't know. And I wasn't too much of a happy camper, but I was just like, I'm kind of like built like just kind of whatever happens, just kind of like go with the flow. And then here's today, like showing some people that were helping me. Oh wait, I don't want. All right. You hear the water, right? I just like walking in water. That's that whole room. We had to empty that whole room, floating the carpet. All right, that's not the one I'm looking for. This one. Okay, so this is today then. Oh no, this is last night again. It's another one.
My sanctuary has been destroyed.
Where's the other one? Oh gosh. So.
Floating floor is really a floating.
I have one more somewhere that I want to show today, where it's kind of like more so like where we cleaned up everything. But anyway, I think I'm going to be sleeping outside tonight because I called on Ruby and No, I'm just kidding. Where's the other one? Wait, oh God, I gotta find this real quick. The today one. Okay, this is it right here. So now everything's dry. That's today.
The room is now dry, but we are still working.
That's all the stuff from the other room.
Working.
So, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Bob Marley. So, it's all good. All right. So everybody's good and solid with the new practice, or like, you know, adding on to the 40-day abundance program. Because we have, like I said, I was going to share this at the end of our thing, but like, no, right now is really a time to share these experiences together, because we have we have like another 4 weeks, you know. Yeah, so those 4 weeks, you'll be more than halfway through the 40-day abundance program, you know. So, you know, you'll be having at least 30 days of the 40-day abundance program will be well under your belt, and we'll be able to, you know, share that together. And like I said, now it's time to take flight. Like you've been on the runway and you're picking up speed and you're getting off the ground a little bit, you know, and now it's zoom. Once you put the abundance program down with the rhythm, it's take flight time. So everybody's ready to take flight? All right. I want you to. I'm like that mother bird pushing you out the nest. Like, come on, it's time for you to jump. It's time to fly and be free. Right? It's time to kick you out the nest. You know, some of you guys are just comfortable in your nest, you know, and it's time to jump. Take that jump, take that leap of faith, you know, just, you know, the biggest investment you can make is this investment right here, to understand this energy of substance and this communication with your inner self. And like, there's no greater investment you can put in your time than this practice, you know, of really tuning in to the universe and this cosmic energy and coming into the rhythm of life, you know. 2 weeks ago, I was meditating and the guy's jackhammering. I don't know if did I get to share it even? I don't think I forgot to share it. I'm like at the window and the guy's outside my window jackhammering the patio, and I'm able to meditate, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and not be bothered with the jackhammer. You know, right now I got the rhythm going on downstairs with the fan blowing, drying out the carpet, you know, and it's just like being in tune with all the rhythms everywhere, you know, and just, you know, not, you know, before stuff like that would like be like irking me, like, when is this guy going to stop or whatever, you know. I don't have to resist it. Whatever you resist will persist, and just, you know, you can just be in the flow, you know, embrace what is and just keep moving. So, all right, I'm gonna, unless somebody else is gonna take over and give a little bit. I gave so much in that first few minutes, you know what I mean? I emptied myself. So yes, come
Hi,
at me.
it's me, Onset. Okay, so I'm still dealing with finding my rhythm with the heart and the money rhythm. And so I never knew how much pulsation goes on in my body. So I'm trying to figure out, could that be it? Could that be it? And it feels like, is that my liver? Is that my, you know, is my organ pulsing? Like I never really heard so many sounds in my body, like pulsating in my body,
Right.
and trying to find this rhythm. But I feel like I found the money and the heart rhythm. And I did something, like I was like saying, is this it? Is it? And I couldn't get a confirmation. So I did grab my my pendulum and ask yes or no, is this it? Yes or no? Like, let that confirm it until I really confirm it. But I believe I felt in my heart that it made that answer true for me. It wasn't the pendulum. I literally felt in my heart. It was like just so clear. It was just so absolute clear light. There was, I can't explain it. It's like, you can't, sometimes you just can't explain it, have words for it.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so, yeah, so now I'm on my way moving into the next chapter. You say you can't go on until, you get the rhythm, find your rhythm, and then and then go on. So I did get the opportunity.
Well, big up to you for like having that stick to itiveness, because it's like, it's work. No doubt, this is work, and I wish I had the quote in front of me, but I heard this Hafiz quote, like the greatest work is to know love right where you are, and like to be still, it's the greatest work. It's the hardest work, and I think a little bit of what you're going through, and a lot of people go through, is they overthink it. There's no money rhythm and heart rhythm. It's just one rhythm.
Okay.
And it's in the rhythm, it's in your heart region, right?
Okay.
And it's in this region, there's one rhythm. But as you tune into that rhythm, then will notice other rhythms in your body as well. And that's also a part of the rhythm.
Okay.
That's all one thing, but this still is the primary resonance, right? The resonant field. This is where it's at. But even when you're aware of this, like you might start feeling, like you said, you're feeling it everywhere. You start feeling it in different places. That's all a part of it. For me, what happens a lot of times is I'm feeling it in my heart center, but then also like I feel like I have some blockages lower down in my lower chakras, right? Like the root, the base of my spine, those areas feels like it's blocked. And today when I was sitting, it wasn't so much a fight. It just felt like this energy in my heart center was going down and opening those areas up. So sometimes seems like there's a battle going on, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just like, it's like knife cutting butter, it's just, there's a slicing through of blockages or an opening that takes place. But sometimes that energy is banging up against something, and you just feel it, you just watch it bang up and try not to force. The more I try to force it, the more, like whatever, again, we get into whatever you resist will persist, right? The more you try to force it, the more you create, the more you close the flow, the more you just be the witness and allow the energy to do its thing, and that's surrendering, that's letting go, that's becoming, so that's great. But at the end, you said you found your rhythm, you know what I mean? And you feel it in your heart. And that's it. And even though you'll feel predominantly in your heart, you're going to feel stuff going around other places.
Oh, definitely.
And that's amazing. It's amazing to know that you got just prosperity just jumping. Every organ in your body is jumping up and down for your prosperity.
That's funny.
So thank you. Anything else? Or are you complete?
Yeah, so I just moved into the next chapter, and I'm still doing that 40-minute session is wonderful. I don't even want to let it go. I think I found another part of reconnecting, something that helped me dive deeper within myself. And I'll let you know after 40 days.
Okay.
Let's see what happens,
Yeah. And so that 40-minute thing is something you can do it a few times, but you don't have to do it you can once you get comfortable with your rhythm, all you have to do is sit there. You don't have to do the breathing. You just feel your rhythm in your heart center and the heart region, right? You just feel it and meditate on that for 10 minutes. Then you're gradually, like 10 minutes won't be enough. You want to do it for 15 minutes. Then you might want to do it for 20 minutes, but start with 10 minutes. And just be consistent with 10 minutes, no matter what, because anybody and everybody can always meditate for 10 minutes. Anybody and everybody can find 10 minutes in their day to sit down, shut up, and feel something. Your mind will convince you that you don't have the time to do it, but you do. And now you can laugh at your mind. When your mind says you don't have the time to sit down for 10 minutes, you're like, come on, man, you're not gonna believe your own BS, right?
Yes.
So start there and be consistent with just the 10 minutes. And then, like I said, initially 10 minutes, you'd be like, oh, I need more than 10 minutes. Like, I'm just, and then eventually it's not like something that you have to like force yourself to do or feel an obligation to do. It's something that it will pull you, your love, enjoyment from it. It'll feel so good that you don't want to miss out on it. You don't want to miss out on that good feeling. That good feeling will just pull you, because at the end, It's just that release of everything just melting and letting go. It's a freedom. It's a feeling good feeling that nothing in the world can give to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Lynn, you're showing up. You ready to share something?
I'm here. Oh, yeah, I just. Not yet. Sorry. I'm having a sound issue.
The whole universe is echoing with you.
That's how much the vibration is going on right here. Anyway, I just, well, I had one question or thought on the 40-day thing because we've had that before at Awakened Heart. So I just had a question on how you were explaining how to do it. Like, I thought that what you do with that is actually read line 1 the first day, and then day 2, line 1 and 2, and then day 3, line 1, 2, 3, and then
No,
is that
no,
not how it's done?
no, that's, you can do any way you want.
Wait,
but
we
that's-
lost you. Hold on.
Oh, I turned mine
You hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I have my thing
You
down.
can do it any way you want. It's your life, and there's, you know, there's no thing, but that's that. I wouldn't recommend that at all, because I think that's just too much. You need to stick with one principle for one day. That's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way it's laid out in the program. You stick with one principle, and you take that one principle, and for 10 to 15 minutes or whatever minute time you give it, 5 minutes it could be, you're contemplating. You're doing a contemplative meditation. So what I do is I read the principle out loud three times, and then I just contemplate about it for my meditation for a while. But first do the 10 minutes of being with the rhythm, because once you do 10 minutes of being with the rhythm, you're in a different state of consciousness. The words are going to hit you differently, and you're in this place where then it's like you're in the field, you're in the gap, and that's where you can put the seed in, and the seeds can really marinate faster, right? Rather than you're not in this like busy thinking mind, you're in a whole different brainwave frequency from being in that meditation for 10 minutes. Pick that one principle. Day 1, you're going to start with the first principle. God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. I know him by heart because I've done them so many times. I just need to look at one and I know him. Like, you know.
Okay, yeah, maybe the directions we were
and,
doing was
and
wrong.
so just,
yeah.
you know, even though I know him, I'll read it 3 times and then go and then meditate on him. And then as I'm meditating on, I'm just constantly, slowly repeating it in my mind and letting it work on me. And just do day 1, and then day 2, do principle number 2. Day 3, your principle number 3. So you're only doing one principle each day, and you're doing it for 10 days, and then you repeat again. Then you go over to day 1 again, and just cycle through it 4 times. Make sense?
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I just think the directions that came along with the set that I had,
Right.
explained it differently. So
yeah, I've never heard that, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I just wouldn't recommend it. You know, I would say do it this way, because they all, I mean, you see me, I was jumping from one to the other today, you know, just showing them, you know, and just they're all interrelated. Take one per day and just sit with it and be with it and let that fester, and each one will build energy and just continue that energy for 40 days. You miss a day, you start over. You go back to day 1. 40 days, 40 nights. This is your 40-day period. You know, it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 1 for everybody. That's willing to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not forcing nobody, but you know, if I had my way, tomorrow's day 1 for everybody. You know, it's day 12 for me. You know what I mean? It's day whatever for Jerome, because he's already been doing it. You know, but I just started it 11 days ago myself again, and just 10 minutes of being with the rhythm, and then 10 minutes of just like focus, you know, read that meditation and just think about it. And then it's good to have a journal and, you know, and write thoughts afterwards too, if you have time. It's good to continue to write, you know, because different stuff is going to come up to you at that meditation. So it's good to journal afterwards as well.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I did get the book. I got through chapter 1 and 2, and I did my first basic practice yesterday, and I thought it was cool. I didn't, hold on, there's a dog barking, so let me just close it. There you go. And I, you know, the physical money energy is really new, so I didn't see anything there. But I like the fact that you mentioned the statements of truth. I also have a journal too. The statements of truth that you showed today, the 10 of them, and you mentioned when we should do it. I know it's from what sounds like you want us to breathe for the 10 minutes and then find our heart region and then find our money energy and then start focusing on one of these. Is that what the order was?
So let me clarify for you, because you're just in the beginning of the book. So in the beginning of book chapter 2, you do all those different practices, right? You do that. You can do that once, or you can do it a few times, but you don't have to do it every time.
Okay.
Once you get comfortable with a rhythm, your 10 minutes is just sitting with the rhythm. You don't have to focus on your breath. You don't have to focus on nothing else. Just once you get comfortable with feeling the rhythm there, if you want to start out and you're having trouble, do the breathing for just a minute or two, because the breathing will always calm you down and get you more sensitive to feeling the vibration there.
And there's a lot of foot movement. My leg kind of moves a lot in general. And I didn't know if that would be, now I know everything's supposed to be around this area, but then I saw descriptions on maybe blinking or other things. Does anyone, I noticed there's a rhythm in my feet.
Right. So all of that is part of the rhythm, like I was saying earlier to Ida. Like first you focus on this heart region, and then after that you might have movements in your body, you might have different things going on. All of that is a part of your money rhythm as well. Those are all different aspects of the money rhythm.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the next few days as I go through this again a few times.
All right, cool. Thank you. Any other questions or anything before we round up? That's it then. I go back to my basement. So I got work to do. Thank you for giving me a break from my basement, because I needed it, boy. My back's, I was up to 4 a.m. So yeah, I was like, oh man, I didn't even want to do class today at the Missionary, but I really did need a break, you know, to go to change a thing. So thank you all. Much love, much appreciation. I sent out in the emails, I sent out the 10 statements. So you have the email as well. If you haven't it, just email me at lightofloveunlimited@gmail.com. All right. All right, everybody. God bless. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Prakash.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Buckas.
Be well.
Night
Thank
night.
you.
Like no light. I'm sitting there in the dark. It got so dark.